Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to our first edition of Mosh Racing Live. This is kind of an idea I had for my racing stream channel to do something a little different and actually host a sort of a live podcast that is completely unscripted, uncensored, and just run with scissors on this and talk about NASCAR. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Mike Wiehl. You can see my links below. Obviously, Wheel in the Sky is kind of my main claim to fame. I do a lot of aviation content in vlogging. When I'm not doing that, I race this car you see down here at the bottom of the screen. That is my number 96 Chevy Camaro I race in the eNascar iRacing Cup Series. Have not run a full season in a few years. Really, 2020 did my last full season, trying to get back to doing that this year. So thought it'd be fun to kind of go back into live streaming races. And with that, thought it'd be a good time to bring back something a little different and add something a little more than just live streams. Those are fun racing. Have a lot of conversation in those, but I'm always so focused on racing, I never really get to keep up with the chat and do it. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a show where we just did that and we actually talked about different topics in NASCAR and different racing. So that's where we're at. With that, we also have a guest host with us, co-host with us. That's Mr. Chris Lord, who a lot of you guys know from his stream. He just finished doing a basketball game. So On the Go with CeeLo. That's his main channel where you can find him doing a lot of all kinds of different things. He does obviously sports live streams, does a lot of just vacation vlogging and travel vlogs, so a little bit of everything. And we obviously go to a lot of races together, so thought it'd be fun to have you come help us out and talk about some racing. So here we are.
Here we are. What's up, guys?
Yeah,
welcome in.
You're probably a little winded from doing that whole basketball game where Tennessee just lost. So
yeah, I got my drink here. So
yeah, I'm loaded up as well. So I'm hanging on a hotel Wi-Fi in Laredo tonight. So we'll see how that goes. Traveling on the road this week. So yeah. Lot to talk about, actually. Like I said, this is really kind of designed to be an unscripted, just casual conversation show, get your guys' opinions, have the people who are in the chat here really kind of feed what we discuss. But we do have a few talking points, and we'll start that off with the first thing we've got here is just kind of looking at the latest news and things that are coming out of NASCAR. As of this week, there's obviously been a lot to talk about. One of the biggest things being the new rules that came out yesterday. Quite a few changes in the rules. So one of the biggest ones changed to the tire falling off penalty. That is no longer a 4-race crew chief suspension. That is now a 2-lap, hold the car for 2 laps, and 2 crew members suspended for 2 races. So,
which could be a big deal.
That could be interesting. That could change some things. That was an issue last year, though. A lot of tires fell off last year, and the single lug, I think, didn't work out as well as everybody had hoped, but the penalty actually existed from the old 5-lug system, so it was a lot bigger deal for you to have a tire fall off because they stopped policing lug nuts until the end of the race. So I think that's where that penalty came from originally, but when they went to the single lug, you just you can't maintain that. They had too many problems with that lug locking, and it wasn't necessarily the team's fault in a lot of situations, I think.
Right.
So, but at the
now
same
they don't
time,
have an
too,
excuse.
if you had a wheel fall off, you could continue in the race. You were fine. It didn't impact you, other than you had to get back to pit road missing a tire. So now you got to lose 2 laps. That could change some things a little bit.
And now of course they'll say, well, there's no excuse now because it's just one big big lug that goes on there. It's the one big bolt, so there's no really excuse. But I think it's going to affect a lot of races, and I think it's going to change the way NASCAR teams do some things over the wall. One mistake could cost a big time player, a win. Just by accidentally a tire falling off. So
and I'm trying to think of probably some of the. I think it got better as the season went on last year. It seemed to be really bad at the beginning of the season. I know when we were in Nashville at the race there, I think it was Stenhouse lost, or Bush or somebody lost a wheel there in Nashville. That's kind of the last one I really remember later in the season. There may have been more that I just don't remember, but it seemed like it got better as the season went on. But in the first races there, it was like every week there was a crew chief getting suspended for 4 races. So I think that's better. Damaged vehicle policy, they keep waffling on how long that is. It was 5 minutes. Playoffs last year, they pulled it up to 10 minutes. Now it's at 7 minutes. That's what they've decided for this season. So I don't know what the number needs to be there.
I think also I heard another show that they were talking that NASCAR found out that it takes about 6 minutes to fix one little section on this new car.
Yep.
So they, that one section's broke, then you can't fix the rest of it, and you're not going to fix your car to get it up to speed. So they moved it to 10 minutes. So
right
now you can. They moved to 10, or did they do 7?
So now it's 7. That was as of the ruling yesterday.
Okay.
It's 7 minutes.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I go back and forth on that. I mean, I guess the intent of that is to get them held back for, not having damaged cars driving around, causing debris cautions. I understand the intent behind it, so I guess that's, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. Whatever. I don't see too many people. There have been situations where people expired on damaged vehicle clock and had to retire from the race, but I think, if your car's that bad, you're probably going to be out anyway. It's, the way the points are now, where you don't have the 5-point spreads per position where it's 1 point. Staying out there to gain 3 positions just doesn't have as much value as going and getting some stage points the next week, I guess. So, stages, that was another change too. They have changed it to now, at least on the road course races, they will not have a stage caution. They will just continue through the stage. So that's a little bit interesting. We lost him. Our man's down. Or it might be me. I may be down.
I hear you.
Hey, I'm back. Look at that.
Okay, we're good.
I disappeared for a second. Hotel Wi-Fi. It's going to happen.
Okay. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, there's worse things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, stage cautions not going to happen at the road course races. I like that move. I think that I like the stages. I like them being there, but I don't think the stage caution needs to happen. I think you could just award the points and keep racing. I don't like the way it forces the strategies.
I've never been a road course fan. I've always been like, oh, okay, I'm not watching this week because they're at Sonoma or they're at whatever. So I was like, okay, just tell me who wins. Like, tell me who the NASCAR guy that doesn't normally win wins. Or it's Christopher Bell or what's his other guy's name? He always wins the road courses and it always ends up being the playoffs because of it. And then that's another thing we'll need to talk about here really soon too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you don't see the road course ringers as much anymore as you used to, but I mean, now that there's 7 road courses on the season, I mean it's way more than it used to be. It used to just be the 2. It was Watkins Glen and Sonoma, and now that there's so many, I mean, and they're just the caution laps take 10 minutes. Like, yeah. Let's not promote that, but I think they need to go to that for all tracks. That would just be better. So wet weather package going to a lot of tracks too. That's going to be interesting. So they're talking about that.
Really, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah,
that's neat.
Starting with LA, they will allow them to have the option for the wet weather package. Martinsville, New Hampshire, North Wilkesboro for the
So
All-Star
even if
race.
it's dry, they'll be on different tires. Is that it?
You're not going to run the wet weather tires when it's dry, but they're giving them the option to run wet weather package, I guess, if it's damp. I think they'll still kind of how they did at Watkins Glen last year, where when it was hard raining, they didn't run, but when they at least got enough of the standing water off the track and it was damp, they let them run the wet weather package and then make their determination when they wanted to switch. So they're going to give them that option. It looks like at least up to 3/4 mile to flat mile tracks. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'd be real curious to see a rain race at Martinsville.
Oh yeah,
it's already enough of a demolition derby. Yeah. So.
And speaking of Martinsville, we have some news to talk about Martinsville.
Oh yeah, that's right too. That the Hail Melon has been determined, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really the only other big ones. No more requirement to be in the top 30 in points to be eligible for the playoffs. One win will get you in regardless of where you're in points, but you do still have to at least attempt to qualify for, or you have to qualify for every race in the season. So if Jimmy Johnson wins a race this year, he doesn't get in the playoffs because he's only running 5. That's not how it works.
Okay.
You have to declare points for that.
I was going to say, like, I mean, but still, like, even if you are a racing team, like you are, I mean, you're going to compete every week.
Sure.
But like, if you win one of the early races, like, you're in. You know, you don't have to worry about a DQ 4, 6, 7 times. Of course, you're not going to want that, but like, still, like, you're in.
I guess, I mean, I think the intent behind that, you know, that was really designed to make people no starting parks, but with the charter system, they're not even filling the field at so many races that you don't have starting park teams or teams that just show up at Daytona, Talladega anymore. And the value of stage points and playoff points, even if you won a race, let's say Corey LaJoie, just as an example, wins Atlanta in March and rides around the rest of the season 32nd in points. Even if he qualified as 16th in points, he's not going to make some miraculous run up through to the championship 4 without the stage points and everything to carry him through. So I guess maybe it just didn't have the value that it did when they started the playoff system. I don't know.
I don't know. I still think it's going to fill up the playoff system if, you know, the way races have been where these guys come out of nowhere and win these races.
Well, and I mean, last year it almost got to the point where we were going to have more winners than playoff spots. It didn't happen, but we were, 15 of 16 when the playoff cutoff happened at Daytona. So
I kind of like think, like, did NASCAR go back like 2-3 years and go like, all right, well, Michael McDowell made the won the 500, and where would he have been in the playoff spot if he did make the playoffs? But and all these other guys like AJ Allmendinger and whoever else, you know, that won a race. Would it change the playoff spot? Like, would, you know? I
mean, I guess that's my only concern would be, all right, so let's say we have 14 guys that win races. And then like last year where, Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin had so many points that 4 races before the end of the regular season, they were locked in. Are you now going to have a driver with 1 win who's 35th in points knock out a playoff eligible driver? We'll just kind of have to see how it plays out. If somebody plays the strategy to do it, I don't know. I don't know that they'll be able to do that. So,
like, I think that they shouldn't have. I think that if they're going to do this, you win, you're in thing, and you don't have the 31 in points, I think they should just make the playoffs, you know, as many as it takes. It's not going to be a cutoff, you know.
Right.
Or make the cutoff so low that, you know your core drivers and your core teams are going to make it no matter what.
Right. And
then you got your Michael McDowell's and your AJ Allmendingers, and you got all these other guys that may win. So,
I mean, I guess to me, I think that's going to happen anyway. I think that's going to happen organically just because of the way it is now. But who knows? I mean, maybe somebody scams the system. So,
yeah.
The last 2 updates here are choose rule. Now at all racetracks, that'll be at super speedways, dirt track, everything, where it was not before. And then, of course, the no more Hail Melon, which that was just a interpretation of an existing rule.
My poor Denny.
We'll get into that one a little bit more here a little later. So next thing we'll kind of go into as we're talking through this, we prepped as we started introducing this, we prepped 3 topics that we wanted to talk about for this live session and kind of have the interaction of everybody in. And we'll start getting into that here with our today's topics. We've got 3 things we're going to bring up. And our first one, and this is just a generic, what do you guys have to say about it? And that is the clash at the Coliseum. There's a lot of opinions on this one.
As long as Joey Logano doesn't win.
I don't want to see that happen. I don't know. this has been kind of an interesting conversation around the Clash because truly to me, it's such a unique event. It's so different from anything they've ever done before. And I think a year ago it was crazy. Like when they announced this at the beginning of 2022 with a brand new car that we've never seen before, we're going to go put them on a quarter mile in a stadium. It was crazy to me. But now that they did it, and I mean, maybe it wasn't the greatest race. There wasn't a lot of passing, but from an event standpoint, I mean, it had a lot of hype around it. I think, last year, the Super Bowl being the week after in LA, they were just trying to build off of that. But from what I've heard, in everything NASCAR's reported so far, they've sold more tickets this year than they did last year.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I guess it's a successful event, but it's so
It just
unique.
shows you how much money NASCAR has is to tear up a stadium and then build a track and then in about 4 or 5 months' time, tear it up again to build a football field again.
They'll be tearing that up on Monday. They will have that. Yeah. They will be tearing the asphalt out of there, and by a month from now, that thing will be grass again. So
it's so crazy.
It is. It's the money that goes into it is pretty interesting, but obviously they're getting the revenue back from it. They're getting the TV money. They're getting all the things they wanted from it. So, but it's to me, it's like last year. What was it? It was Pitbull and Ice Cube were the music artists, and this year it's Cypress Hill and Wiz Khalifa. Like, it's so different from anything you've ever seen in NASCAR. And I guess the one thing I wonder, like, are you really converting people who go to this into, like, they're going to go buy tickets to go to a race now? Because I don't see that happening. I think for, USC students in LA, they're like, hell yeah, this is a fun Sunday afternoon. But does it really go anywhere beyond that? I mean, I think it's cool. I'd like to go, but I don't know that it's sustainable. I don't think you do this for years. I think this is like a one time.
I just want it back. I just want it back at Daytona again. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it at Daytona.
Shootout.
But
we want the mud shootout.
Nobody went. They stopped going.
Yeah, true.
I mean, if there was value in it being at Daytona and people still went to it, I think what killed it at Daytona is Daytona saw that, because they used to do Saturday and Sunday, they would do, the ARCA race, the Bud Shootout, Busch Clash, whatever name it had for years. And then Sunday was pole day. But then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the track was dark. There was nothing going on. So if you wanted to go for the week, you're spending all this money to not do anything that week. And, for 3 days. And then finally Thursday, you pick up with the duels and, truck race, Xfinity, and then 500. So, they moved it to, what was it? They moved it to like a Tuesday night to try to get it where it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like a consistent week. But even that wasn't great, because then they moved it to the road course because nobody came, so they tried to do something different. I mean, I get that NASCAR had to do something different, but I wonder now that, like, North Wilkesboro is coming back, do they move it there in the next few years, or Rockingham? They're repaving Rockingham right now.
Dale Jr. has his say, probably.
Oh, yeah. But at the same time, like, who wants to hang out in the middle of North Carolina in February? Like, it's freezing there right now. It's icing. Nobody wants to do that. That doesn't sound like fun. So
exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I think, honestly, the whole idea behind doing the Clash at the Coliseum was to test this out. Can we build a purpose-built racetrack? Because at some point, you're going to see an electric version of these stock cars racing. And to me, I think that's NASCAR's, okay, we can go build these purpose-built racetracks. We could have indoor races. We could go to the Dome in Minneapolis or, the Cowboys Stadium, put a racetrack in there, put electric cars that aren't going to kill people with fumes and noise.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Have a race. And I think that's where it'll go. I don't know. It's just interesting to see. So
they could probably do it the one in the SoFi because it's open. The roof opens and the outside is open. It's pretty much an outside stadium.
Yeah,
that would be pretty interesting to see them there.
The new Titan Stadium.
Yeah, bring it to Titan Stadium. We want to see it.
Although if you're gonna do that, Fairgrounds is right down the street. Come on, man.
Yeah. And that's making a comeback too. That should be interesting to see what happens there too.
All right, on to our second topic, bold 2023 predictions. I've got a few here. I'll let you start off. What do you got?
Oh man, Christopher Bell. he's still going to be strong. I look to see him be more dominant than he was last year. I also say should be interesting to see the Kyle Busch reign in the number 8 car. Does he win a race right away? How strong will he be in Daytona? He'll be dominant at the short tracks at Bristol. It's just some drivers have that book. We've always kidded that Jimmy Johnson had a book for every racetrack.
Right.
How to win in this racetrack. How do I take it from there? The RCR cars does, with Kyle being there, make it much better.
If I'm Austin Dillon, I'm nervous as hell right now.
Right, yeah. Austin
Granddaddy just hired arguably the best NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
To
Trackhouse Racing, see if they continue their dominance. Chastain, boo, Chastain. Sorry, that's my opinion. FedEx hat, you gotta boo him when you can. How does no Kyle at Joe Gibbs? How does it affect them?
I was going to make that a topic about Joe Gibbs not running the 18. That's weird to me, but maybe next week.
Truex, how's he come off one of the worst seasons he's ever had ever?
Yeah.
How does that come out? So it's lots of questions that should be answered here in these first couple races, especially during Speedweeks, and see who's fast, who's not, who's got it, who doesn't.
So my number one, Ryan Blaney wins the Daytona 500. I think he has been a contender ever since he's moved into that 12 car. Every year he's in the story of the finish of that race. He's like 98% on the Daytona 500. He needs 2 laps, and he's there. I say he wins the 500.
You and I were there last year, and we watched Ryan Blaney dominate that race, and then to be pushed away by his teammate.
Well, and then 2020, he was the one pushing Ryan Newman to the win when he got turned, and 2018, he led the most laps and then got in a late wreck. And I mean, there's so many times that he's the story of the 500 and just has not closed it out. I think that's my first prediction. I'm going to say Chase Elliott wins the most races in 2023. I think they have a good level of consistency. I don't think Harvick wins a race in his final season. I think they go 0 for 36. Don't know that'll happen.
I also thought is this new rule a Kevin Harvick rule because of get him in the playoffs. Let's just get him in the playoff. He's last year. Just get him in the playoffs. Let's let him win one race and then.
So I don't know if you saw Truex announced. I think it was over the weekend that he broke up with his Sherry Pollux. Like their relationship is over. Like that.
Oh wow.
That's weird, but I don't know what that means on track. But yeah, I wonder how many more years Truex runs. Honestly, like I know he renewed for another year, but I got a feeling like there's maybe a couple more years, and we'll start seeing retirement announcements from him. He's got to rebound though. He's got to do something this year. I started trying to think, what would I say for a championship for? And that's so tough to predict. There's so many variables that go into it now. I will say this. I did have Denny as one of my perennial championship 4 contenders, but not winning the championship. So,
right.
Sorry. I'd love to believe he's going to pull it out at some point.
He's the Mark Martin of NASCAR. He's never going to win.
It's getting that way, man. He's checked every other box.
Yeah.
Although Mark Martin didn't win 3 Daytona 500, so.
Yeah, he's the Mark Martin of NASCAR. It's never going to happen.
Yep. Yeah,
at least I got to see him win a Daytona 500 a couple times.
I'm also going to say this. I'm going to say that the 23 makes the playoffs this year. I don't think they have a deep run, but they, after Nashville of last year, they had a average finish of 13th through the end of the season. They flipped a switch, and I think with Tyler Reddick going over there, dude, he is that team is going to be good. I also think that Tyler Reddick outperforms Ty Gibbs. I don't think Ty Gibbs does as well as everybody thinks he's this wonder child. But maybe. I don't know. I mean, Grandpa might be pouring all his resources into that.
Hey, maybe he'll get more booze than Denny does. Hopefully.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, people are not. They don't like that kid. I don't like Ty Gibbs.
Yeah. And it's horrible that, it happened to his dad and all that. But it should be interesting. Does he go back to his old ways and all this stuff? So I'm excited. Just very excited to see who becomes the bad guy in NASCAR. So
the other one I really want to watch is Kyle Busch,
Denny.
though. I'm curious to see what he does in a new ride, in a new team. Will it click? I mean, that car had speed last year. Reddick won 3 races last year. Can he build on that? Because Kyle did not do good with the next-gen car. He just struggled. And
that's another kid that could possibly win the 500 or be in the running for it. Reddick, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he may have something to prove. I think there's going to be a lot of emphasis behind him. But, yeah, see, D gets it. He doesn't like Gibbs either. Good on you. All right, we'll move into our last topic of discussion here. The Hail Melon is no more.
Yes, thank God.
That we're done with that. We're not going to do it again. We did it. I don't know. I felt like this was a little bit unnecessary to qualify as a rule. Just because nobody's going to do that. Like the fact that even worked, the time it did, was pretty amazing. But at the same time, I mean, this is what you want in NASCAR. You created this playoff format to have these moments, these throwing it all at the wall moments, so you got it. You got what you wanted, but if you think that everybody's going to start rail riding around the turns at Martinsville, it's just not going to happen. I mean, it worked that one time in that one situation, but it's not going to happen every time. Basically, they clarified that this was an existing rule, detrimental to the safety of an event, that they said, that probably would, if they were faced with that again, they would penalize it with a time penalty. So I think they didn't make a ruling at the time because I think all of us walked away from that race. It's like, what did we just watch? What just happened? So
exactly.
That's why they're keeping it. That's why they couldn't do anything at the time. Plus, I mean, it put them in the championship 4. You're going to take that away. There would have been so many more things they would have had to do from a ruling standpoint and then decide who got in. I mean, it would have been a mess. So, I think they did the right thing at the time. But, now my question is, all right, we're going to Darlington. You can't not hit the wall at Darlington. Trust me, I hit it every time I try not to. So, are we going to say every time somebody bounces it off the wall, nope, that's time penalty? I mean, come on. They got to be realistic about that. So,
yep. As a Denny Hamlin fan, I'm glad it's not going to happen. I don't think anyone would, like you said, I don't think anyone would have done it again at Martinsville. I still don't understand how someone Denny spotted been like, here he comes, do something, get down, something. Like, I don't understand how that never came about. But
I don't think anybody was looking at that. I mean, if I'm the spotter watching my car and I'm watching Hamlin, like, all right, you got one outside, like, what the hell? I don't know what to tell you. Like, yeah, I would have been so lost on that. Like, I mean, that was amazing to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure. But hey, he got him in the playoffs. He lasted for
made him to the championship 4. But what annoyed me about it is, like, at the race at Phoenix, they're like had a camera on the walls. Like, do you think he's going to do it again? It's like, no, it doesn't work. You can't just stick it on the wall. See what I mean. Normally that ends horribly. That nobody's trying to do that, but. And I mean, if it had not worked, we wouldn't even be talking about this. If he had just pancaked it in the wall and got it wedged in there, cut the right front down, and stalled, like,
it didn't make the
we
playoffs.
wouldn't be talking about
it. Didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. So. But I mean, it was fun to see.
Yeah, something that people will remember forever.
Yeah.
That Hail Melon.
I saw them. Justin Marks posted that they haven't done anything with that car, but they were going to. They said basically 90% of the car was still usable after that. They were going to go ahead and fix it up and put it back in the rotation, but they were like, after the ruling, they're like, no, man, it's just too cool. We're going to keep it. And they're like,
put him in his house, like Denny has a car in his house.
They said, it's going to cost them like hundreds of thousands of dollars to just sacrifice that car and turn it into a showpiece. But they're like, whatever, man. That moment was bigger than money.
You probably put it in the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. So.
Yeah.
But so anyway, on that note, that closes out all of our topics and kind of our talking points for the show. This has been pretty fun, actually. I kind of enjoyed doing this. So
yeah,
We probably won't have anything next week just because there's not a race. We wanted to have the prep going into the Clash of the Coliseum, Clash of Clans. Jeez, I'm thinking iPhone games.
And are you gonna do some of your iRacing stuff here on this channel too?
I am. I'll be doing probably do some iRacing this weekend. Next weekend, actually before the Super Bowl, is the Podium 500, which actually starts on Thursday. It is the Podium esports version of the Daytona 500. Goes through heat races to qualify into the duels. 2 duels will set the field for the Podium 500, full length, 200 laps. That is Sunday
And they
afternoon.
have a guy that does like play-by-play, right?
Yep, and they broadcast it live on the Podium Esports Twitch channel. So I'll be streaming at least the heats and the duels, assuming I make it through them. I'll be streaming those on this channel. I probably won't stream the 500 just so everybody can actually watch the broadcast. But look for me there. You'll see my Wheel in the Sky car, actually. We'll be
Awesome.
running that race, and that is February 12th before the Super Bowl. So hope to have it all wrapped up before the game starts. I'm looking forward to that.
We're gonna be doing some play-by-play. We're gonna. I probably won't do the race on Sunday. I thought about it, but probably not.
Yeah.
And then definitely Speedweeks will be doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it. Show my age. The twin 125s.
You even said Gatorade duels earlier, and I'm like, yeah, it's not that anymore either. It's like the blue-green vacation duel. At Daytona,
some type of weird company name, something 125 or duels, or I don't know whatever it's called. But, back in the day, the twin 125s.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, they're 150 now. So yeah, I'm excited though. I cannot wait to watch the races Sunday. And I'm curious to see though, because now we're not dealing with all the parts issues and the supply chain. Teams have a stockpile. They're going to go out there and do something now because they're not trying to tear their cars up. It might be a little more interesting of a race. And obviously, Daytona is, my favorite thing in the world. I cannot wait for Speedweeks to start. So really looking forward to watching that.
For sure.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And then we got racing all year long after that.
And that's just the start, man. Final season at the 2 Mile Fontana Auto Club Speedway before they turn that into a short track. I'm excited for that one. Obviously, we've got Nashville coming up. We'll be there. I'm going to try to go to Atlanta. I'd like to do Talladega in the fall, but I'm not sure.
I want to go to Daytona in the fall.
Yeah.
Instead of doing Bristol, we always go to Bristol every year, but I just wasn't happy with Bristol this year. So last year, so I want to change it up a little bit. So and I thought that last race at Daytona to make the playoffs is so crazy, anyways.
Yeah. Well, then have it raining in turn 1. That just made it even more fun.
Yeah. And NASCAR moves the Daytona race to the winter months or the later in the fall, and it still rains down there. It doesn't matter.
Right.
So should be a good time. Should be lots of races. I'm gonna definitely do some vlogs too as well. We're there. I did the national race. We had a good time with that.
Yep.
You popped in there a couple of times, and you were also when we did the Daytona live streams.
Yep.
I think you made some live streams as well. So
right.
But good times. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And definitely we'll be posting them on our channel too. I'll put in my community section. So a lot of our folks love racing. One of the guys that was in my chat tonight, he was talking Daytona. He goes every year.
Yeah.
So
those one guys were talking about. They were like, if you got an Indy 500 or Brickyard, and I was like, bring back the Brickyard and we'll talk. Get off this ridiculous road course shenanigans. Put it back on the oval, and then we'll talk because I would love to go to that.
It's like July 4th weekend too.
No,
right?
July 4th is the Chicago Street Course now.
Oh, that's right, Chicago Street. So that should be interesting too.
That's going to be
the first street race for NASCAR. So that's interesting.
That'll be a big talking point that week. But this was fun. Just want to say thanks for everybody for joining us. For our first attempt at this. I think I'm going to take some recordings of this. We'll make these actually into a podcast, so those who can't join, we'll have a way for you to listen to these as well. Like I said, the week before, basically the Wednesday before the duels, we'll get on here. Actually, I'm wondering if they'll even be doing qualifying that night. I got to look at the schedule. I think Wednesday is when they do qualifying for the 500. So, maybe we can.
What did they do last year? I thought they did it on that Sunday.
No, they do it all within the week now.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Yeah, if we can jump in and maybe even kind of talk about that live as we're doing the show, that just add a little bit of flair to it. So.
Yeah.
But good deal. Yeah, I'm obviously doing this on my Wheel in the Sky page this week. Going to try to move this into its actual own channel, I think. where I can host these shows along with our racing live streams. Got to give a shout out real quick to one of my sponsors, MyPilotPro. They've supported a lot of my Wheel in the Sky stuff. They do all kinds of custom GoPro mounts. They started mainly in aviation, hence the MyPilotPro. But they've moved into all kinds of different forms of building custom mounts into outdoors, marine, just all kinds of different things. So I'll put a link here in the chat where you can reach them actually. If you're interested in getting into any of their stuff, if you have GoPro or if you have any really kind of action camera, they've got systems for that. They're also down in the description along with a lot of the other people who really support my channel. And I'm trying to convince them to move into the racing sector as well and actually sponsor us in some of these races. So hoping that'll take off a little bit, but give them check them out and go buy some stuff because, I mean, I like it.
And then you start doing some NASCAR on your channel. I got NASCAR on my channel. Hey, we both got NASCAR media coming at us.
Yeah, we do. That's right. Come on. Where you at, Eric Estep? You want to be my guest host one week?
That's great. I don't know if I told you. I met him with Ryan.
I met him right before you guys did. I sat there in the garage talking to him, and then you guys talked to him out on pit road. So.
Yeah. I actually had him on live stream.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's awesome.
He was probably like, "Get out of here, rookie."
Yeah. Amateurs.
Amateurs. That's right. So.
But yeah, gonna try to do some racing probably Friday night.
Okay.
So the iRacing Cup Series this week is actually at Iowa, which is one of my favorite tracks that I have never won at. I won a street stock race there one time. I would love to win at Iowa. I have a way too many second place finishes there, so maybe we'll get in here and see if we can't make that happen.
Ryan got a pedal and steering wheel for Christmas. So
let's go. Come on.
Let's see if we can get it going. You know,
get in that iRacing. It's addictive.
Man. I bet. So, well, it's been fun, Mike. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us
on my community section and post it out. Get everybody going on this NASCAR stuff and tie it in with ours, and we'll get it flowing.
We'll make a whole thing out of it. Glad the hotel Wi-Fi only gave a little bit of a hookup. This has been pretty good. So.
Yeah, it did look good.
Well, good deal.
I got my camera and my mic, my Yeti mic, so they sound pretty good too.
Yeah, no, it sounds really good. I mean, I'm on just my laptop camera and microphone. Usually I have my full setup going through my mixer at the house, but on the road, I'm not taking all the equipment with me. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But D, everybody else in the chat, thanks for joining us tonight. If you guys like this, please don't hesitate to give a subscribe in the channel. That just helps me be able to reach you guys when we're doing things like this. Certainly, if you've got topics you'd like us to discuss, throw them at us. You can reach me at any of my social media channels. Again, you can reach me here. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Wheel in the Sky. You can also reach me on my Mosh Racing Facebook page. I'm also on Twitch. That's where I do a lot of my broadcasts right now, but trying to move that over to YouTube. I think this is just a platform I'm a little more familiar with, so trying to kind of go that direction. But yeah, definitely want to build a little bit of community here. The fan interaction in these discussions just helps us really kind of feed off of you guys and build our talking points, because if there's one thing I've learned about NASCAR fans, they are opinionated, and I'm here for it. I'm here, like, let's drag out debates. I don't care. That's what we're here for. There's no censorship. We can say whatever we want.
Right. I've noticed that, like, chat is really what it really, if you have your chat going really slow, it's in for a slow stream. But when the chat's moving, it's fun and having a good time.
That's right. So. Well, good deal. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys later.